What's good, everybody? It's the Casual GM YouTube channel, and today we're back here with another mock draft. Today's mock draft is going to be for the New York Jets. As always, we're doing 2 5-round mock drafts. The first draft, there will be no trades. In the second draft, we may do some trades, we may not. But I'm going to try to spice the second draft up like always, and we might pull off a trade or something.
It ain't our ball. It ain't our ball. It ain't our ball. It's our ball, ain't it? It's our ball. Hey!
All right, so before we start, I want to go over some of the names the Jets lost in free agency and some of the names they picked up. So this year, the Jets had a very interesting free agency period. They lost some big name guys like Devontae Adams, Hassan Reddick, DJ Reed, Javon Kinlaw, and Morgan Moses. But they also picked up some big name guys, the biggest name being Justin Fields. They re-signed Sherwood. They picked up Brandon Stevens. They got a safety in Andrew Cisco. Picked up a center in Josh Myers. Picked up Derek Nandi, interior D lineman from the Chiefs. Signed Isaiah Oliver, and yeah, some of the other small names they picked up. Okorafor, right tackle from the Patriots. So they kind of replaced some guys in a sense. Like Morgan Moses, you lose him but pick up Okorafor. You lose Solomon Thomas and Javon Kinlaw, but pick up Derek Nandi. But the biggest name was obviously Justin Fields. And this is what this draft is kind of going to be centered around, trying to really build up the Jets roster this year and maybe put up a better product than people think the Jets might be going into next year. Try to figure out if Justin Fields is that guy, because I don't believe they're going to draft a quarterback this year. So they lost Aaron Rodgers also in free agency. He could go to the Steelers, so that's kind of like a switch up between them. Jets get Justin Fields, Steelers get Aaron Rodgers possibly. But yeah, that's what this draft is kind of going to be focused on. I'm still haven't decided yet if I'm going to go best player available or if I'm just going to go positions of need. And once we get into the draft, we kind of figure those things out and kind of talk about that stuff. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into this draft. All right, enter. All right, start. All right, so according to PFF, I always like to make this clear. These positions and needs are according to PFF. So they have quarterback, wide receiver, tackle, and interior D lineman. Now, quarterback, when I say I don't think they're going to take a quarterback, that means I don't think they're going to take a quarterback in probably the first or second round. Now, they could take a quarterback in like the third, fourth, or fifth round as like a project and have him compete with Justin Fields, because they gave Justin Fields, I think it was a 2-year, $40 million contract, which isn't a bad contract at all. You could basically be off of him in 2 years, probably even after next year, if you're being honest. And you could go with a quarterback that you maybe draft later on this draft if they hit. So maybe like a I think Jackson Dart's gonna be a first rounder at this point, but maybe like a Will Howard or somebody, Dylan Gabriel maybe, just somebody that teams are kind of sleeping on and might fall in the draft. You can maybe pick somebody like that up and have them compete with Justin Fields for their starting QB spot. So up on the board right now with the 7th overall pick, the top names are Jahdae Barron, who I really like. He could definitely come in and fit and fill that role DJ Reed left. He's a very versatile corner. This year in Texas, he played outside a lot, where the prior years he kind of played in the slot and stuff. So he's a guy who can kind of play all over the field. Ran a real good 40 at the combine. Tested well. Just a very productive player in college. Next year, Tyler Warren, Malachi Starks, Jahad Campbell, Amar Mimbu, James Pierce Jr., Mike Green, Will Johnson. So with the 7th overall pick, let's see. They definitely need a wide receiver too, but I don't think you go wide receiver 2 at number 7 overall. Tackle is a big position of need. I really like Jahdae Barron. I don't know if you're going to get too many corners better than that in the second round, but it is kind of like they got Sauce Gardner. You don't really need to take a cornerback 2 this high in the draft. You could maybe get that later on. Tyler Warren, I like him. I think Amar Mimbu really is the pick right here, because tackle could set you up. A great tackle can really set you up for like a good 10 years, 10, 15 years possibly. And that's something the Jets have kind of always struggled with, is getting great O-line play and getting healthy O-line play. And I think Warren Mimbu is going to be the pick right here, I think, for the Jets. So that's who we're going to take right here. All right, the Jets are back on the board here at 42. Some names up are Landon Jackson, Maxwell Harrison, who ran really well at Combine. Nick Imawari. I really like Nick Imawari. He really tested well. Like, he's a physical freak right there. Siobhan Vervelle, who's another big corner in this draft. Coming off an ACL injury. So he kind of missed last year, but he has all the physical traits you're looking for in a cornerback. Some other names are Princely Manuelin, Shamar Turner, Tyler Booker, Alfred Collins. So we already addressed our tackle need. Wide receiver would definitely be a good spot to address here, or interior D lineman. I do really like Alfred Collins. But Siobhan Vervelle would really be nice. Him and Sauce Gardner on the outside, that's a great duo right there. Jaden Higgins is here at wide receiver. They do pick again at 73. Some of these guys I think could possibly be there. I think a cornerback could be there also. Landon Jackson is definitely a name I like. I think they need interior D linemen in the draft, especially since they lost some of these guys like Javon Kinlaw and stuff. I think we're gonna go with Shamar Turner and Alfred Collins and stuff. Let me look at their numbers real quick before I make that decision, because that's who I think I'm going with, interior D lineman with this pick. See, and Shamar Turner didn't grade out the best this year. Only had 2 sacks. That's why I struggle with picking these A&M guys, because you look at their numbers on paper, it doesn't jump out to you at all. But when you listen to the scouts and stuff and how they project these guys, it's like, I don't know how to view them. Like, it seems like they're all a lot of they all have a lot of upside, but they're all a risk at the same time. So he's 6'4", 300. Yeah, like I said, only had 18 hurries last year, played 12 games, had 2 sacks, 60.8 rush grade, 64 run defense grade. I don't know if I'm going to go with Shamar Turner right here. Let's look at Alfred Collins real quick. See, Alfred Collins graded out way better this year. He had a way better year. Only had 1 sack, but 17 hurries. Well, you look at the numbers. I mean, he didn't have that great a year either, if you just look at the numbers. But he graded out well according to PFF. He's 6'5", 320, so he's a bigger guy. Had a 69.8 rush grade, 85 run defense grade. He's solid. Let's see who else we got. Because I was going to take interior D lineman, but I'm not going to reach here. I'm not going to reach here on interior D lineman. Because I really think there's some good interior D lineman later on, like Omar Norman Lott. Realistically, that's who I could go with here. Yeah, I'm going with Omar Norman Lott here at pick 42 in the 2nd round for the New York Jets. All right, so I'm back up on the board here at pick 73. Ozzie Trapelo, Chris Paul Jr., Terrence Ferguson, Ryan Broughton, Joshua Farmer, Audrey Harvey, Sebastian Castro, Kevin Winston Jr. I think they definitely need a wide receiver too to go with Garrett Wilson. That whole experiment they did with Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams and all those guys, that just didn't work out at all. I think Jalen Noels would be a great number 2 to a guy like Garrett Wilson. I think it's a no-brainer pick. It's a position of need. I think that's a guy Justin Fields will be able to rely on. He won't be having to force feed Garrett Wilson. And I think that'll just provide help with the depth at wide receiver. So we're going Jalen Noel here with his 73rd pick in the 3rd round. All right, so we're back up on the board here at pick 110 in the 4th round. You have Quandarius Robinson, Will Howard. This is one of those spots that I said they could possibly take a quarterback. I like Will Howard, me personally. I don't think it's like a top 2-3 round pick. I don't think he's gonna go in the 1st or 2nd or 3rd round. But I think he could be a great kind of like how you say it? I mean, kind of Dak Prescott like, where I wouldn't be shocked if he has a really, really good NFL career and is really solid quarterback. But I also wouldn't be shocked if he's like a career backup or something. So you got Will Howard, you got Johnny Sanker, Anita's Pebbles, Gunnar Helm. Now I really like Gunnar Helm here. You got Kobe Bryant. You definitely need a cornerback. Me personally, I think they need a cornerback. I really like Kobe Bryant. He also one of those guys kind of like Shavon Rivell and Sauce Gardner, like a 6'2", 6'3", long cornerback that can really match up well with these bigger wide receivers that's starting to come in the league. They pick again here at 145. Then they pick again at 162. Jonas Sanker. I like him. Kobe Bryant, Gunnar Helm. I think we go Gunnar Helm here because I do think they need some tight end help also on the team. They really need a lot of pieces on offense. I think at least in that receiver core wise, I think Gunnar Helm could really fit that. So I think we're going to go Gunnar Helm here from Texas. All right, so back on the board here at 145. So we already took Gunnar Helm, Jalen Noel, Omar Norman Lott, and who did we take? And Amar Mimbu. I think we're having a really good draft so far. Let me know in the comments what y'all think about those first 4 picks. And now we're back on the board in the 5th round. We pick 145. Now, I like Savion Jones here. He looked really good at the Senior Bowl this year. He's really making plays, getting to the quarterback. Another one of those guys who production might not jump off the board, but we're picking in the 5th round. A lot of guys' production might not jump off the board in the 5th round, but this is a great spot to start taking maybe some project guys with high upside. And I really like Savion Jones there from LSU. Pat Bryant here from wide receiver. And if I knew he was going to drop this far, I might have not taken Jalen Noel in the 2nd round, but I thought it was just too good of a spot to pass up. I think in real life, I think there's going to be a run on wide receivers in that 2nd and 3rd round area. I don't think there's going to be too many that go in the 1st round, but in the 2nd and 3rd round, and especially in the 4th, I think it's going to be a run on wide receivers like Pat Bryant, like Jalen Noel, like Jaden Higgins. All those guys are going to be like 2nd round to like 4th round guys. All right, we got Quincy Riley here, cornerback. Another guy who's kind of a project, but could be do really good at the next level. O'Donnell Fortin, I really like him. Cal Williams. I think I'm going to go edge rusher right here and take Savion Jones from LSU. And I think next pick, we're going to try to get us a cornerback. So pick at 162. We're going to try to target a cornerback. Hopefully one of them will fall. Oh, yeah, Kyle Williams, wide receiver from Washington State. Yeah, Upton Stout. Got Nick Nash. So it looked like there was a little run on cornerbacks. Some of the cornerbacks that I was eyeing aren't here right now. There still are some players. Like, I like Upton Stout at safety. He could definitely be somebody we look at. I don't know if they take 2 wide receivers. I don't think they take 2 wide receivers and a tight end in this draft. So I don't think we're going to take another wide receiver here, even though there are some solid wide receivers I'm seeing. Tonka Hemingway. Just looking at some of these players. Yeah, I think right here, I think we go Upton Stout from Western Kentucky safety. I really like him. I've been hearing some good things about him. I think scouts really like him. I think he's going to rise to the board. I don't know. He might be a 5th rounder, but I think he could easily go in the 4th round. So we're going to take Upton Stout from Western Kentucky. And that'll be the last pick of this first draft. Let me know in the comments what y'all think about this draft. We're about to go over some of these picks. And, yeah. All right, so got our grade back. According to PFF, they're saying we should have took Nick Emenwari over Omar Norman Lott, which I do like on Nick Emenwari a lot. I just think they need interior D lineman a lot more than they need safety. Even though they do have Quentin Williams, I think you saw Quentin Williams last year. Just having him on the interior D line didn't really do much for that defense. So I think pairing him and a guy like Omar Norman Lott would be really good. So with our first pick, we took Amar Mimbu, tackle from Missouri. They gave us an A grade for that. In the second round, we took Omar Norman Lott from Tennessee. Third round, we took Jalen Noel, a wide receiver from Iowa State. Then fourth round, we took Gunnar Helm. Fifth round, we took Savion Jones. And again, in the fifth round, we took Upton Stout. So we finished in like the top 59% of Jets drafts. They gave us a B grade. I want to know from y'all what y'all think about this draft. What picks do y'all like? What picks do y'all not like? What players, y'all, if y'all followed along, y'all saw what players were on the board with some of these picks. What players would you have taken over some of these players that you see here? So now we're about to get into that second draft where we might do some trades, we might not, but yeah, let's get into it. All right, we're here with our second draft. We're up on the board here at number 7. I'm thinking we probably will possibly trade this pick. I think I want to trade it back a little bit just to get some more picks since we are only doing 5 rounds. It will make this draft a lot more interesting. And I think it's a real possibility that they do trade back maybe in this draft if a player they don't really like or are overly impressed with is on the board. So let's look at some of the teams that are offering trades. They have the New Orleans Saints offering the 9th pick. Chicago Bears offering the 10th pick. San Francisco 49ers offering the 11th pick. And the Cowboys offering the 12th pick. Now, this is interesting because Ashton Jeanty is available right now. So teams like the Chicago Bears and teams like the Dallas Cowboys, I could definitely see trading up to 7th to try to get that pick, especially the Cowboys trying to get ahead of the Chicago Bears. And probably the Chicago Bears would probably want to trade up so the Cowboys don't get that pick. So let's look at the Bears and what they have to offer before we make a decision. So the Bears are offering the 10th pick for the 7th pick. And I think they are only moving up 3 spots. I think we could pick up like a 4th or 3rd rounder for them for their pick. So like their pick at 72. We could take that and the 10th pick, give them the 7th pick. Let's see the Cowboys. They might be a little more desperate. So the Cowboys had the 12th pick, 44th pick, 76. Let me go back. I think it's more realistic the Cowboys are willing to give up that 76th pick for a running back versus the Chicago Bears trying to give up their 72nd pick just to trade up 3 spots basically. So I think we're gonna trade with the Cowboys. We're gonna give them the 7th overall pick. They're gonna give us the 12th pick and the 76th pick this year. Let me know if y'all think that's too much or too little in this trade. Like, do y'all think the Cowboys gave up too much, or you think the Jets got back too little? So off of that trade, they accepted. So resume draft. All right, so up on the board here is Malachi Starks, James Pierce Jr., Will Johnson, Luther Burden III, Kenneth Grant. Imagine Kenneth Grant and Quentin Williams beside each other. That'd be crazy. Josh Simmons, Kelvin Banks, Will Johnson. That's tough right there because Will Johnson and Sauce Gardner beside each other. That'd be a crazy duo. But imagine Kenneth Grant and Quentin Williams beside each other. Man, that'd be a crazy duo. I think there's a lot more good interior D linemen in this draft than there are cornerbacks. So I think we're going to take Will Johnson with the 12th overall pick in this year's draft from Michigan. He was projected going to the year being the top cornerback taken off the board. Travis Hunter kind of jumped him, and then he had his own injuries this year, so he kind of fell a little bit. And he realistically could fall a lot more in this draft, possibly, if teams don't like what they see with the injury and him if he runs his 40 time. So we're up on the board now. You got Xavier Watts, Trey Amos, Nick Emenwari, Siobhan Varell, Shamar Turner, Shedeur Sanders fell to the second round in this draft. You got Alfred Collins, Jada Higgins. So we do got the 73rd and 76th pick. We got the 76th pick in the trade. I think we solidify that secondary for the Jets defense right here. I think we take a Xavier Watts from Notre Dame. I think we might do a run of offensive positions right here since we did go defense the first 2 picks. Mason Taylor here at 71. That's a really nice player right there. You could get Justin Fields a tight end in the target. Jalen Noel on a board here like he was in the last draft. Could go O-line here also. Only thing about some of these O-linemen at this point, they are projected to be guards at the next level and not necessarily tackles. You do have a guy like Cameron Williams. Savion Williams would be a great pick too. Yeah, Joshua Farmer here. Mason Taylor. I think we go Mason Taylor here. Then we got the pick at 76. Already kind of eyeing somebody. Let's see. So we got Mason Taylor. I think right here, I think we go. This is tough. Cause I'm looking at Savion Williams from TCU, and that'd be a great kind of like Deebo Samuels type player to put beside Garrett Wilson. But you also got Cameron Williams, tackle from Texas. Wyatt Milam. I like Wyatt Milam a little bit more because I think he could play both tackle and guard. But Cameron Williams also could probably play both. And I think he has a higher upside if he does pan out than maybe a Wyatt Milam. This is tough right here. There's a lot of great options. I'm going to trust that there's going to be a wide receiver available at pick 110. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Wyatt Milam here from West Virginia at tackle with pick 76 in the 3rd round. All right, so we're back up on the board here at 110. And like I said, a wide receiver did fall. It is Isaiah Bond, Mr. I'm going to run a faster 40 than Xavier Worthy. But with his speed and Garrett Wilson's speed, you'll have a really, really fast wide receiver core right there. With Mason Taylor kind of filling out the inside of that receiving core, I really like Isaiah Bond. You got Kobe Bryant, you got David Walker, Central Arkansas. I really like him. Jaden Blue, he's a fast running back. Jackson Dart fell in the draft. That is an interesting player right there. I could see Jets really getting behind a Jackson Dart pick, especially since he was kind of all this hype coming into the draft. He kind of pushed up, and he's kind of projected to be a first rounder now in a lot of mock drafts. But if he falls all the way to the 4th round, I mean, that's not a bad pickup right there. Let's look at some of the wide receivers that are available. You got Isaiah Bond, Torrey Horton, not really like him. Pat Bryant is here. Nick Nash. I think I'm going to go Isaiah Bond here. I think 4th round for a guy that kind of coming into things was kind of projected maybe a 2nd rounder or a 3rd rounder. I think if he falls to the 4th round, I feel like that's a good steal because if he doesn't pan out, what is he going to be at worst? A wide receiver 3 special teams guy? I think that's a great risk reward type pick right there because it is the 4th round. It's not like it's crazy draft position value that you'd be losing because he could hit and be like a Tyreek Hill type guy or something. So you got Quinn Ewers. Yeah, Luke Kendra. Pat Bryant is here. I think we might take 2 wide receivers here. I know I said last draft, I don't see them taking 2 wide receivers and a tight end, But for this draft, I think they could do it if it falls like this, kind of like you get Pat Bryant. He's a 6'3" wide receiver. You got the quick, fast Isaiah Bond. Then you got Garrett Wilson. I think that's a great like matchup of wide receivers right there. Like they all don't do the same thing exactly. So I think we're gonna go with Pat Bryant here. I also just think it's like a best player on the board type thing right here. Also, I'm not seeing too many other players that like crazy fit positions and need so much where I won't pass up on a guy like Pat Bryant. So we're gonna take Pat Bryant here in the 5th round. So we went wide receiver back to back. Now we're back up on the board. Pick 162, our last pick in this draft. And I think they take Josh Joyner from Minnesota, edge rusher. He had a really good year in Minnesota. I think he's going to fall just because he did play at Minnesota, a smaller school. So I think that could get used against him. He's not like the biggest edge rusher either, but I think for where we're picking 5th round, I think that's a good pickup right there. All right, so we got our grade back. They said Cam Ward was on the board when I picked Will Johnson. I did not know Cam Ward was on the board. That's probably because PFF has him. They probably don't have like a true 1st round grade on him, so he didn't pop up as like best players available. But I would have thought Cam Ward got picked. And let's be realistic, he's not gonna make it to the Jets at pick number 12 anyway. So just for realism's sake, I'm glad I didn't know he was available and didn't pick him. Because this is a lot more likely of a situation, these players, that could happen where the Jets could pick these guys. So we made the trade. We traded back from the 7th pick to the 12th pick, and we picked up another 3rd rounder from the Cowboys. We took Will Johnson with the 12th pick in this draft. Then we went secondary again and took Azariah Watts in the 2nd round. Then we kind of went on an officer run, and we took Mason Taylor, tight end, in the 3rd round. With that 76th pick we got from the Cowboys, we took a tackle, Wyatt Milam from West Virginia. Then we went wide receiver back to back. We took Isaiah Bond and Pat Bryant in the 4th and 5th round. And with our last pick in the 5th round, we took Josh Joyner, edge rusher from Minnesota. So this is a top 54% draft. We got a B overall grade. I want to know from y'all, what do y'all think about this draft? Which draft do y'all like better? Which draft would y'all rather the Jets have? Me personally, I like this 2nd draft a lot. I think you got a lot of talent picking up that extra pick from the Cowboys. I think you filled a bunch of position needs, added depth at a bunch of positions of needs, and could really set yourself up going into next year and have a really good year. So that's it for this video. Stay tuned for some more mock drafts. We've done the Cowboys, the Eagles, the Chiefs, the Giants, Browns. We've done a bunch of teams. Go check those out right now. They should be popping up. And stay tuned for the next draft.
It ain't our ball. It ain't our ball. It ain't our ball. It's our ball, ain't it? It's our ball.